We're not saying a visit to Bloomington, Indiana will turn you into a forest-bathing, sandal-wearing, dissertation-defending, stray cat rescuing, nonprofit starting, Monroe Lake paddling, guitar strumming, march organizing, vinyl listening, leaf watching, zen finding, coffee roasting, yoga practicing, beer drinking, bread baking, co-op joining, pottery throwing, vintage thrifting, bike everywhereing, art appreciating, farmers market shopping, biz thinking, football fan. But we're not saying it won't. Visit Bloomington. See how it inspires you.
Broadway in Chicago is back with another one, y'all. The critically acclaimed best-selling novel Water for Elephants comes to life on stage in this unique spectacle-filled musical. It's about a young man who jumps from a moving train to make a new home with a traveling circus. There he finds a life and love beyond his wildest dreams. There is puppetry, acrobatics, and circus stunt work. But here's the catch. You can only see it at the Nederlander from June 23rd to July 5th. So get your tickets now at BroadwayInChicago.com. Today on CityCast Chicago, what's the final decision on the downtown Greyhound station? Is Chicago in a friendship recession? And what other spots do you wish were open until 5 a.m.? It's Monday, June 22nd. I'm Jacoby Cochran, and this is what Chicago's talking about. I've got two great friends in the building with me today. Yireni Mario, welcome back.
Always happy to be here.
We've also got Al Scorch in the building with us. Al, good to have you back on the podcast.
What's up, Jacoby? Randy, how you doing?
Good.
I know it's been rainy days, though. How y'all summer's going so far? Y'all feeling good?
We outside.
Yeah, I'm chilling. I've been hanging out at my mom's house a bunch. I think I'm just in summer mode. I've been hanging with my mom. My niece has been over here last few days. They're watching. My mom and my niece are doing Stranger Things marathon. It's It's giving summer vacation. It's very cool over here, and I got some time off, so I'm like, vacation at mom's house in Dunning. Here we go, Northwest Side forever.
I hear that. I'm on the southeast side at my mom's house all of the time. It truly is one of the most enjoyable places for me in the summer. And we got the backyard done up. One of the last times I was over there, I helped her put up one of those massive umbrella phase. So she's like gone through the various ways to bring shade to like the back patio. And now we're in big ass umbrella where Kobe got to fill it up with 30 pounds of sand. But it was worth it. It's holding up. And it makes them beers all the more refreshing. And so shout out to mom, shout out to the backyard. I'm definitely going to be there very, very soon. A couple of weeks ago, we were talking about the downtown Greyhound station, which for the last few years has kind of been in a limbo period. Their lease was up and they've been on a month to month for some time. The private owner was thinking about, raising it and building a skyscraper there. But Al, the mayor came in with a plan and brought it to city council. Remind us of what that plan is and how did it go?
Well, it got approved last week. They voted on it positively. But basically, the plan is to buy that Greyhound station and then operate it, lease it to a third-party vendor and operate it like O'Hare or Midway operates, where the city owns it and they kind of have oversight for capital improvements and kind of big things like that. But then the maintenance and the day-to-day running of it is leased out to a third party, and they just put it out for proposals. So like you have vendors and operators at O'Hare and Midway, it's going to be the same setup at the Greyhound station on Harrison down there, just west of the Loop.
They're going to be buying it for about $19 million. According to the agreement, Flixbus North America, which owns Greyhound, will continue to operate it for about a year as they go through what you were just pointing out is that process of finding a third-party vendor to run it full time. A couple alders who voted against it had some skepticism about the city's capacity to run this bus terminal. But just as you mentioned, this is nothing new to the city. Obviously, we run a massive public transit system, O'Hare and Midway, O'Hare being one of, if not the busiest airport in the country as we are recording this. But in those details, the city isn't just buying this and sort of moving forward. They also have plans to put some money into the terminal as well. How much?
I think it's something like $30 million, isn't it? Somewhere around there. I think the total deal is like 50 million. So they're buying the property for like 19 or 20 million, and then have this other 30 million set aside. Now, some of the older people are saying it's actually going to take more money to get it up to snuff, and to maintain it and stuff. And that this is an undershot, but they did extend that TIF district to include the Greyhound station, which is part of that. So that's, if anyone's listening from outside of Chicago or doesn't follow the boring details of Chicago tax law, the TIF is the tax increment financing district, where taxes are levied on a specific area, and then they're kind of pooled in a slush fund, basically, that has a lot of discretion for alder people and city council to kind of spend that on other stuff. And the idea is that it goes to development, community development, and it's kind of loose with what they can do it for. But, it's money that is loose that's supposed to be used for kind of development projects like this. So I think it's a good use of TIF districts. When there's a lot of funny stuff goes on with TIF districts. It's like they're going to empty out the TIF district to give it all to Sterling Bay. Well, I'm glad that didn't happen, and that development didn't go through. So, but this is a cool use of it, and I think it's a good use of it. And I like that Alderman Conway, the 34th Ward, which is like Greektown, Little Italy, some of the West Loop. He kind of, at first he was against it, and then he thought about it, and he listened to people, and he, did some research about it. And he's like, actually, you know what? The 500,000 people who use the Greyhound station in Chicago, that's an important voice. And he said something like, they don't sign campaign checks. They're not, powerful people, but they matter.
Like you said earlier, just knowing that, he took in the information, listened to the people who were pushing back, some people within his ward, advocates for the bus terminal. You learn, like, people are using this in a lot of ways. Those 500,000 people, a lot of whom are taking trips that really expensive to take, road trips. Flights don't go there. Maybe trains don't go there. These are some people who are elderly. You got people who really rely on Greyhound to access reproductive services, people coming into Illinois. And so, he listened to a lot of those voices. Al, can you speak to some of your experience either with this terminal or just riding Greyhound throughout your life?
Oh, man. Yeah, I've ridden Greyhound a bunch. I've lived a life, my friends. I've been on the Greyhound bus quite a bit. Probably the craziest Greyhound story that I could think of is I was on a layover. I was taking a Greyhound to New York City, and I stopped in Cleveland in like the middle of the night. For some reason, you always stop in like the middle of the night. And I go outside. I'm just kind of scoping the scene, and there's this dude out there like shaking like a Hardee's cup, and he's like got change in it, and he's just he's got a vibe to him. So I start talking to him, and he's like, "Man, you got any change?" I'm like, "Yeah, here you go." And then he's shaking his cup, and he goes, "Yeah, I'm getting money to feed my little buddy." And he like kind of looks down, and I look down, and that dude has a baby turtle like standing in front of him on the ground that's like 2 inches long. And he's like, "Yep, that's my little friend." I'm like, "Cool, man. I hope you get him some mealworms or whatever." And then he kind of picks him up, and he puts him in his cup. And then he goes, "Yep, when he gets big enough, I'm going to eat him." And I'm just like, "What, dude?" And then he just walked off into that Cleveland night. And so you definitely have some experiences on Greyhound for sure. And I don't want people to be robbed of that. So I'm so happy that the city's taken over the Greyhound bus station, and that we're going to continue to have these experiences.
I had a bus breakdown in Scranton, PA, and I got a voucher from Greyhound to stay overnight. And the hotel I went to, I can't even remember. This was over 10 years ago. However it worked out, I ended up getting like the top floor of that hotel and could just see all of Scranton, Pennsylvania. And it was so great. I was like, this is the last place I thought I was going to end up at 3 a.m. in the morning. But I'll take it.
The king of Scranton. Everything the light touches is yours.
Okay, now I think I need to add riding a Greyhound bus onto my bucket list, because amongst my friends, I'm known as the person who always has stories on doing crazy stuff. So you know what? This might be added to the list now.
Oh yeah, you'll get
No, for
people's
sure.
life stories. You'll hear all about their grandma. You'll hear about like what, who did them wrong. Like you'll make friends and then,
Hmm.
you never see them again. But for that 12-hour bus ride, you're like family.
Don't miss Leopold Stat at Writers Theater in Glencoe. In the late Tom Stoppard's final work, we follow multiple generations of a Jewish family through 5 decades of daily life until history takes it all away. The Tribune calls the Tony Award winner essential viewing, and Stoppard worked with director Carrie Perloff on revisions exclusive to this production. Leopold Stat is the largest production in Writers Theater history, so you don't want to miss it. Get your tickets today at writerstheater.org, and that's theater with an R-E. The weather is finally warming up, and maybe you like me and you dreaming about getting away, right? Maybe getting outside your comfort zone, taking a break, relaxing by some water, seeing something brand new. But what if I told you ain't gotta go quite as far as you think to accomplish all of that? That's because Illinois is literally in the middle of everything. We can get out in nature in breathtaking state parks and epic national forests for hiking, biking, all around adventuring, or explore Illinois' small town charm, or visit some of the state historical sites like Lincoln's Crib, or maybe embark on the ideal road trip celebrating 100 years of Route 66 with giant attractions along the 300-mile route. Or maybe we just go ahead and kick back in Chicago. Finally take in the lakefront, the museums, the shows we promised ourselves we're gonna do all year and never get around to. However you're looking to get away, even if you staying home, find just what you're looking for and a little more at enjoyillinois.com. Yeah, Danny, I'm really interested in the topic you brought today. Can you tell me what is the friendship recession, and is Chicago in one?
So, yeah, the friendship recession is the colloquial term that researchers have put on the declining recession of friendships being maintained, friendships being held. In a study that the Harvard Kennedy School did, they showed that since 1990, adults who reported having no close friends has quadrupled to 12%, which is kind of a crazy amount. Like, just like close friends. It sounds maybe not that big, 12%, but when you think about it, that's a lot of people, to be honest. And I would say the data really does match up with my experience. I am a somewhat recent college graduate, and when I moved back home to Chicago, all of my friends are scattered all across the country. And as I've been navigating trying to make friendships as an adult, it's been so hard. And I have found some fruitful friendships in this venture. It's been 1.5 years. However, like in every event that I go to, I almost immediately notice there's very few 21 to 26-year-olds. When I go to these events, it's either people that are in their late 20s, early to mid 30s, or really young people that are like 18, 19, 20. So I'm just like, where are my people? Where are you? I know you're here because when the friendships that I have made, everyone's been telling me it's so hard to make friends. Like, you're the only new friend I've made this year. And as I ask my friends that are across the country, everybody is struggling. Everybody between the ages of 21 and 26, that post-grad age, we are struggling to make new connections. And it's just like, what is going on behind this? There's data to support this. My personal experience, my friend experience, what is happening? Like, I don't think that this is necessarily the case for the generation above us, especially the generations like further up, because I feel that you guys had a lot more third spaces. I mean, at least just watching like shows from like the 90s, early 2000s, like you see people gathering and like I mean, I feel like I see a lot of it, like this is older, but I see a lot of people point to Friends, the show, like, what do you mean? Like, you guys just had a coffee spot that you would all go to on the regular. Like, that's just not a thing anymore. Like, you can't just meet people casually.
I definitely didn't have that experience per se, but I'm also somebody who stayed in school until about 24. And so by the time I got out, I realized that the majority of the people I had been friends with are people that were just like sat next to me in classrooms or on campuses or in, in school hallways. And coming out of grad school is like the first time where I had to actively seek out friends in a way. And I'm very lucky. I got back to the city at that time. I had a couple of childhood friends who were here, but I had like my best friends were in New York and DC and LA. And I just went to a friend's birthday party and met a couple of people that night. And then we just started hanging out. And I was very lucky, and we're still friends to this day. But I definitely remember the anxiety of like, I have to be a more active participant in trying to make new friends because, I also didn't work in an office. I sort of worked, from home most of the time. And so I had to be a more active participant. And then the process of keeping up with friends between social media that starts to make you think like, oh, I'm seeing people's lives. I know what's going on, but I'm not actually reaching out and having conversations with people. And so you're kind of stuck in that in between where you feel like you're connected to people, but you haven't talked in a while, you haven't texted in a while. And so like trying to navigate the city, enjoy yourself, find new experiences, but also get sustainable friendships out of that it's a challenge.
And I think that's something that makes this a little different for our generation is, I don't know if you guys have heard of the cringe epidemic. So yeah, I was like, yes, I've heard of that.
It's bad. I've seen it. I've felt it.
Everyone's just so scared of putting themselves out there for risk of being cringe because cringe is embarrassing. And I think that that's really contributing to why like this specific group is having such a hard time making new connections because nobody wants to embarrass themselves.
I do understand that, like the fear of, and like maybe, and even coming up through school with that experience. Cause like as a kid and even in high school, if something embarrassing happened to you in school or high school, it stayed there. There was no sense that your embarrassment, your one moment of putting yourself out there and it failing ends up being somebody else's like viral moment. Like I was out last week at the Salt Shed, ran into 30 people that I know. And one of the reasons that I was able to have so many conversations or run into so many people is because I was walking up to people, complimenting people. I remember touching this one guy on the shoulder. I was like, man, them shorts is fire. Where you get them from? And he turned around and it was the guy who had just sold me some clothes at like a store a couple of weeks ago. And his customer service was amazing. Shout out to Kid Downtown and KB.
And I think to what you're saying, Jacoby, as well, everything is so documented now that I think that is a very large part of it. Like you can be caught lagging. It goes on TikTok, it goes on Instagram, it goes back to your mom, your cousins, your coworkers. Everything is being documented now in a way that wasn't in the past. And I think that that's holding people back from just putting themselves out there.
And I think it's like indicative of like our culture as a whole, as it is a culture of surveillance, not just from the government and stuff, but the way that parents are parenting their children now. All of my siblings are teachers, middle school, high school, and college. So we run the whole gambit. I talk to them. And parents are just constantly in touch with their kids. And it's the weirdest thing because, I just turned 40 this year. And I remember coming up in the 90s and, early 2000s and be like, I couldn't wait till I didn't have to talk to my parents or other adults. I'm like, get me out of here. I don't get off my back. But the way in which people are parenting now, there's just kind of this constant surveillance and being constantly in touch, and people aren't putting their kids on the CTA anymore, and the tolerance is lowering. The stress tolerance of all these kids is lowering, and it extends to that. Oh, I don't want to be cringe. I'm so afraid to make a mistake. But it's like being alive is cringe. Being a human is embarrassing. Like, get over it, let's go. Mistakes are what make us, and everybody's fallible. We're not some looks maxed, perfect representation. And to get back to the loneliness epidemic, a big tenet of that looks maxing, manosphere stuff is you don't need other people. Other people are NPCs. Don't be cringe. You don't need to talk to other people. Other people's opinions don't matter. All this stuff. Who needs them? And then it's well, then you're just like alone in your mom's basement, hitting yourself in the face with a hammer and like trolling people online. Like that's miserable. So I think there just needs to be the people like us, Ureni and the Jacobys and the Als of the world who are like, yo, let's hang out. Like that is more important than ever to just be like, hey, let's hang out.
I feel like we're really struggling with that. Like, as you've pointed out, Al, like, we're such a weird case study because we're the first generation that's fully grew up with the internet. And how that has impacted us, I feel, is now being shown in so many ways. Like, we have like kind of stopped seeing each other as people, I feel, and they're seeing each other as brands. What is the brand that you're putting out there? And it's all connected.
Yeah. And do I subscribe to that brand or not? And I think and that creates so much of what you're talking about is that initial barrier, right? That obstacle of just starting a friendship, like starting engagement, like starting that, building bringing together the building blocks of a potential friendship. And then our producer, Michelle Navarro, was pointing out to me as well that like another reason people struggle with friends is, right, we already all got so much going on in our own lives and we're all, trying to like survive. And some people don't want to be inconvenienced by friendships. Like when it gets to that next level of like, now what does it mean to actually show up for a person? Like, do you help people move? Are you willing to pick up somebody from the airport, right? Are you willing to travel across the city to somebody, to stay in connection with somebody? And like, I'm at that point where I am trying to nurture friendships that I have and trying to figure out what does it mean to schedule time and to call people and to text people with intention and not wait for the group chat or the pop culture moment to sort of, like bring us back together. And it is really effing hard to balance all of those friendships and to feel like you are showing up for people in the ways they need. And yeah, I think at every level, we're all just very overwhelmed. Like you said, have a lot of distractions, a lot of barriers to entry, maintenance. And I think the best thing we can do is like talk through like where those biggest challenges are. Like I always subscribe to like, go do the things that make you happy and find the people who will make you happier. And like the last few years, it's been a lot of hobbying, like a lot of saying yes to things. I'm glad I have a lot of friends like Al who like do arts, where it's like, let me show up to people's events, right? Let me put money in people's GoFundMes and support mutual aid and find those ways. But I hear you, G. It is hard. I do not envy the folks younger than me and then the generations right behind me. That's tough.
My friends like to say, everyone wants a village, but not everyone wants to be a villager.
That's so real. That's so real. And the way we communicate is so different now too. Like the constant texting, like I'm hanging out with my friends, but you're just texting them all day. It's like, it's much different than saying, hey, we're going to meet at 3. And then that's it. And then you meet at 3 and then you're with that person and you're hanging out and you're doing your thing and you hang out for 4 hours intentionally and you're present with each other and then you go do your own thing. It's a much different vibe. This kind of like this, there's a higher volume of shallower communication and shallower time spending. And so I think that's it too. People don't have the time to get deep and just walk around and do nothing, just walk on the lake and, meet me at 12th Street Beach. Let's hang out for 4 hours, kind of thing. So the way we communicate too is just so 12th different.
Street as much as we can.
I meant let's edit that out, Michelle. Let's take that out and say.
I'm joking. We talk about it all the time.
What beach? There's a beach there. I was talking about
Hollywood
North Oak
Beach?
Street Beach.
We going to Hollywood?
Hollywood Beach. Yeah, meet me at Hollywood. Yeah, meet me at Hollywood Beach. Just put that in there. There's no beach there.
I want to hear from people listening. Like, what are things you are doing to make friends, to maintain friends? 773-780-0246. Ureni, that's my last question to you. What are you doing to try and kind of push through?
I've beat my algorithm. My algorithm only shows me things to do in Chicago now. So like genuinely, like I don't understand, like all of the links I sent you guys, those are not even all of them. Those were all just on my feed. And I was like, I need to So I go to dance classes, and I've made a really great dance community that has been so fun. I go to art events to meet people. I really like that account. Oh yeah, I really like Let's Be Friends Shy. It's their thing is we help curated events designed to meet new people in your 20s and 30s. So I really like this page. I have not found like a deep connection there, to be honest, yet, but it is fun. And like you said, Jacoby, like in the friends that I have made in like my dance classes, I really try to just like follow up and have that repetition. And I'm going to start going to Frosty Fridays. It's like at 7 a.m. on Fridays. People jump into the lake and
I saw that.
do like a morning swim. Why not?
I don't think I'm
That's
familiar
what's
with
up.
Frosty Fridays. Let me look at this.
It's a new thing, or new-ish. It's this guy on TikTok.
Every Friday, 7 a.m., Lincoln Park, Chess Pavilion. I see it. I love how everybody tries to do their summer thing, whether it's Pilates on the beach or yoga or jumping into the lake, or we all run into the train or kayak. Like, go on, chase the moment and chase the community however you can get it. As long as you ain't trying to sell me a class at the end of the road.
True.
If you've been meaning to check out An Enemy of the People at Timeline Theater, don't wait. Yeah, they've extended the run, but it must close June 27th. In case you haven't heard any of the rave reviews about the show, it's Amy Herzog's new version of Henrik Ibsen's masterpiece. An Enemy of the People follows this small-town doctor who raises alarm about a public health threat and slowly but surely ends up becoming the target of the very community they're trying to protect. With 4 stars from the Chicago Tribune, the show takes on big questions about integrity, truth, and what happens when standing up for what's right puts you at odds with everyone around you. The kind of theater that people are still talking about on the way home. Plus, you get to see the Chicago premiere at Timeline's new home at 5035 North Broadway in Uptown. I was just driving by it and it looks beautiful. But again, An Enemy of the People must close June 27th. So get your tickets now at timelinetheater.com.
You know those trips where you go visit family and friends and you don't really have anything planned, but it turns out to be the best time? Because you're with the people you laugh harder with than anyone else. That's what Destination Madison is talking about this summer. Their Wish You Were Here getaway guide is inspiring people to plan the kind of feel-good getaway that, if we're being honest, we all need more of right now. So if you know someone who lives in Madison, Wisconsin, you're going to want to invite yourself over, as in, wish I were there. Meet up in Madison and visit featured places between now and October 30th for a chance to win one of 6 themed prize packages, y'all. Those include dining, hotel stays, and more. Destination Madison has made it easy by providing postcard invites, itinerary ideas, and packing lists, so you can focus on having fun together. So stop missing friends and family and start inviting. Today, go to visitmadison.com/wish.
Before we get out of here, I was talking about the Green Mill bringing back late night jazz on Fridays and Saturdays, where they're going to have music until 4 a.m. on Fridays and 5 a.m. going into the weekend. This is them restoring their pre-COVID hours because they got some new owners in, some longtime employees. And that got me thinking, what are some other places in the city we'd love to see open until 4 or 5 a.m.?
I'm just going to jump in and say, I think this is on everybody's mind, is late night diners. That's my thing. I'm just like, we only a couple made it through COVID that are 24 hours. But before COVID, there were so many 24-hour businesses and so many late night businesses, and now it's just a few of them. And really, like, it's one of those kind of things in urban theory that people think, oh, late night businesses are trouble because people are there. It's like, no, late night businesses keep the city safe because it's eyes on the street and there's people coming and going. So that's my thing. Yeah, I want to get some pancakes at 3 a.m. and have more options. You know?
Yeah,
Dude,
one of my
real.
picks was Batters and Berries. They've never been late night, but they're a brunch spot. Got 2 locations, Lincoln Park and South Loop. But they close at like 2 or 3, right? They do the breakfast and then they done. And I'm like, man, I want French toast at 2 a.m. And I know that's
exactly.
right. That's very hard, like practically for people who, to work those hours, But I would love some French toast at 3 a.m. A nice little eggs and sausage, a little pick me up after I was out drinking. That's all I'm saying. So I'm right there with you. Annie, what about you?
Fun, short little anecdote. My first job was at IHOP. I was 18 and I did work a couple of nights, the night shift. Ooh! That was crazy.
IHOP was
That's
the
a
late
party
night
shift.
place for me and my friends when we was in high school. We would work at the rink till about 2 or 4 in the morning, and then we would all go to IHOP, and we would be in there crying, laughing for about 2 hours. Some of my most cherished memories with my friends in high school.
Yeah.
That was a great first job. Also, mind you, this is during the pandemic, so nothing was open that late except this one IHOP. Everybody.
18 during the pandemic is nutty. Absolutely nutty. What other places do you wish had a 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. close time?
Dude, honestly, like, this is so connected too to what we were just talking about. Like, we need to have more just like non-alcoholic spaces open that late. Don't get me wrong, I love the bar, I love the club, but sometimes I just want to be in a cafe chatting it up with my girls, not drinking. We don't have that. But as well, why are there no sushi spots open late? I don't have a specific one in mind. Just I want sushi at 1 a.m. and it's not available. And I'm not going to 7-Eleven for sushi. No.
Yeah, New York has us beat, I'll say that, on the late night spots. Variety of late night spots for sure.
Alinea Sushi and Karaoke Lounge. That's on
Ooh.
30th and Archer.
Wait, how do you spell this? I'm writing this down.
ALYNIA. And then Sushi with a Z and Karaoke Lounge. And their hours are 5 to 2 a.m. I think every day of the week.
Okay, okay.
So you can get it at 1, not 4 or 5, but 1. Around 1:30 like you was looking for. So it's up your alley.
I would check that out. I love karaoke too. I'm a karaoke fiend.
I wish La Chaparita Taqueria in Little Village. I know they also got like a Brighton Park location, but your OG La Chaparita off 25th and Whipple, I would eat Suadero tacos and carne tacos at 3, 4 in the morning. They be closing at like 8 and 9. And then a random one, Baylor's Watermelon Market down on the far south side.
Ooh.
Let me go and pick up some fresh watermelon right after leaving my mom's house on a late night, because I have to come across the highway anyway just to come north. And so like, let me just slide off on Halsted, grab me a couple melons and then keep it pushing. So Baylor's would be another pick of mine. So Batters and Berries, La Chaparita and Baylor's. If y'all got some other spots y'all wish were open until 4 or 5, please let us know. 773-780-0246. Leave your name, your neighborhood, and your spot, and you may hear yourself on the podcast. I want to give a huge thank you to our guest, Yereni Murillo. Thank you for making time.
Of course, I have so much fun.
And Al Scorch, thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, of course. Happy to.
Y'all are the best, and everybody who made it to this point in the episode, you are fantastic as well, and I appreciate you. I want to give you more of what CityCast Chicago has to offer, so please head to our website and read our articles, subscribe to our daily newsletter, check out our events calendar, follow us on social media. We really be active over there on Instagram, TikTok, watch the library videos. Come on, get involved. I also got some good news for you today. I am hosting The Moth at the Beverly Arts Center for the very first time. This is their inaugural Moth Story Slam at the Beverly location, and we're going to be in there this Wednesday. You can come in, sign up, put your name in the hat to get on stage with us. I'll drop a link for you in the show notes. As always, I appreciate you for listening and reading, and when I say that, I mean that. This job is so dope. I'm glad I get to do it every single day, and so I'm going to be back tomorrow. Hopefully you'll join me. Peace.